The nature of our politics, and you rightly said, looks may be deceiving. And I've actually listened to you, I think, for the last 1 hour. And I'm figuring out what transpired at KICC in 2007. You remember when the chair of IBC there, Kivuitu, who was at KICC, and just the other day at Bomas of Kenya, and looking at Ethekon today, you know, the presentation that you've had, you're mean, you know, you're humble, and those demonstrations that happen after the elections, people are walking to your office at IBC, and they say they want to see the chair, or you're preparing for 2027 elections, and you have a stakeholder meeting, we are convening in a room like this, and there are players, active players in the elections, and they are demanding. Do you have that stamina to address those presidential candidates that have walked into IBC headquarters, that are confronting you and demanding that you do certain things in a particular way? What can you say of that?
Thank you, sir, for that question. I think it is very serious what in the last, in some of these elections, like the ones you have cited, that those incidents happened in the Republic of Kenya. It is very sad, it's very unfortunate. As proud Kenyans who take this country as our proud home, because we don't have any other country, for us to degenerate to a level where we reach to those I don't know even how to describe those incidences, but as a country, we, in as much as I as an individual chair in that hotspot, will have to think on my feet and how to handle the situation. But I would like also to call upon the entire country, the people of this republic, right from this panel, to think, why do we and how did we get to that level? What are these underlying issues as a society that we must look at for us not to be? For most people, you know, CPH Tanwe and the distinguished panel, with your permission, Chair, even applying for this job is pressure itself. I will speak from my heart. There are those who say, congratulations, go for it. You have what it takes. Then there are those who are saying, no. You're going there, you're going to die, they're going to beat you, they're going to do this, all this negativity. And the sum total of it, when I soul search myself, I say, but even if I don't go there, who will do it? Some Kenyan must do this job. Unless we are talking about outsourcing it to somebody in India, somebody in Latin America, or whatever. But if the Constitution says a Kenyan citizen, because that's what's in the law, must do this job, then somebody has to do it. And that's why I'm here precisely, well aware of those pressures. But for me, as an individual, I know I have the stamina, the strength, the mental capacity to withstand those fracas. But as a commission, we'll put in place measures to try, learning from experience, to avoid those measures. Both, of course, security, immediate, but more importantly for me, I will open up this conversation to stakeholders, to the people of Kenya. Why do we have to go to get to that level of violence in front of cameras, in front of the whole world? That a process that we have taken time and invested a lot of money in, we've cast our vote, we've counted at the polling station, and now we, at that point when we now want to declare the final results, then we lapse into that kind of anarchy. So for me, as a chair, and as a new commission, we will begin to work with the electoral stakeholders. There are, of course, the political elites. That's where the problem is. we have to talk to this group and say, you can compete, you can win, but you can also prepare not to win. Because ultimately, it's the will of Kenyans that shall prevail. It is that voter, that polling station that determines your fate. So therefore, we have a conversation on how is it that we can manage situations where I am not the winner. And I would like to inform this distinguished panel of an experience that we had in 2013, where we had the two sides and many other candidates, and we were aware of such kind of things. And that's why it never happened 2013. The reason why it never happened is we working outside there, and I think it was that time the Isaka-san was chair. We supported what you call mediation processes by some of our elders in this country. Elders, both men and women, of a certain stature in the private sector, in the public service. We brought them together to be our interlocutors, to be the bridge between IBC and the presidential candidates. And we got some of the close relatives of some of these presidential candidates to speak to them, some of their business partners, to whisper, to say, hey, if in case, in the event that your votes don't reach that threshold, remember, you still have business in this country. You still have your daughter in this country, your grandchildren in this country. You have a country to protect. And therefore, whatever happens, let us take the legal route, which is go file a petition, ventilate the issue at the Supreme Court, whatever the outcome, let the country move on. We did it. And I remember, if you recall, those of us who were there at that time, remember peace charters. We had these candidates, all of them, commit to sign a peace charter. And we publicized it up to the determination by the Supreme Court, where we reminded them, and we reminded Kenyans that so and so, they have committed. They are not going to incite violence, they are not going to do this, but they have accepted they will follow the due process of the law. So that kind of arrangement, those kind of ideas, working with stakeholders, can help us to forestall the unfortunate situations and scenarios we witness in KICC and in Bomas.
Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best.